was thinking of starting in a resting butterfly pose, but if there's a more appropriate meditation for your body today, you can disregard me and take the first 5 minutes to drop in how you like. And I was going to make a yoga roll since we'll be using that for at least abs, if not some other poses. So if you have a towel or a yoga blanket, fold it in 4 and then fold it in half the long way so you can roll it up tight. And then of course you can modify the size once you feel where it's going. You might want to have your block or some kind of pillow handy. The roll, my intention is to put the roll into the upper spine, so between the shoulder blades, so the low back will hang free. Get a little traction from gravity. The shoulders can open around the roll. Again, you can make this smaller if you like, or you can put it on a block if you want a lot of lift. And then head position, I'll leave that up to you. Usually we put a block or some kind of lift under the head to keep the head at least at heart level, or even tuck the chin down. So if you have the head, the face looking down, you do want to make sure chin is in. It's not reaching forward in our, looking at our computers, screens, traffic shape. If it feels right to you to let the head go backwards, we won't be here very long. That can be a sweet shape. The neck, we almost never let the head go back. But of course, the trick with that is the head never goes in this position. It might be too much to rest in this position. And then legs in butterfly, if that's right for you. Of course, blocks under thighs, blankets or pillows under thighs so you can relax are welcome. If knees, hips, low back prefer the legs straight, that's fine. Allowing your body to settle into the shape you've created for it. Physically a restorative experience. But we'll stay with a conscious breath, a more active breath, taking advantage of this open heart lung shape to slow and fill up the chest with your inhale. And stay with the exhale for at least as long as your inhale. This open heart shape can intentionally bring the heart rate up, making the breath a little shorter, even though there's lots of room to breathe. So any effort is on slowing the exhale, balancing it. And then if you feel like you have a controlled, slow rhythm, inhale, exhale, balanced, then you start to breathe down into the lower ribs and into the belly. Exhale, feel the weight of your pelvis supported on the ground, creating that gentle traction for the bones of the low spine. Maybe last few breaths. The inhales make it all the way down to the lowest parts of the abdomen, right into the pelvis, releasing pelvic floor. Exhale, soften the hips, right around the thighs and the buttocks. And ease your way over to one side to roll off your props. If you're on a bit of a height, your body may have gotten used to the height and forgotten. Don't worry, your hands can catch you. Move your props aside so you can roll back onto your back. Knees bent, feet on the mat, feet separated, maybe as wide as your mat, to move into a gentle windshield wipe. Start with tinier movements as you flush breath through the hips and low back. And maybe with a tiny turn of the nose and chin, head roll. Releasing the neck. Let's come into fallen bridge. Next time your knees drop to the left, slowly let them come all the way down to the ground. Left knee to the ground at least. And start pressing right foot into mat. Tuck your tail so you feel the right hip rising towards the ceiling on your left side. Kind of a bridge shape for the right side, if that feels okay to knee. Right arm might slide up the floor to stretch away from your right knee on the diagonal. And you can even look towards the right arm hand if that feels like a sweet opening and grows your breath into your right side ribs. Exhale, slowly lower the right hip down to bring your knees over to the other side. Take a moment to let them hang with gravity. Notice how that feels to hip. And then start pressing left foot into the floor, tucking tail. Get a stretch through the left thigh, left hip, and maybe left arm reaches up so the stretch, traction, breath moves through the whole left side body. Exhale, center. Draw your knees towards your shoulders like a wide-kneed child's pose. You might pick up one knee at a time to keep the low back relaxed. And yes, maybe rock out here. You can either keep hands behind knees or on knees or move it towards a half happy baby, lifting the feet up. We'll feel into the inner thighs, hamstrings a little bit. As you rock to one side, say if you rock to your right, the right leg starts to extend out, left heel will fold in. And then other side, left leg reaches to the left, right heel in. Make it an organic rock, gradually opening the extending leg, getting some breath and elasticity into it. And it will feel more elastic with repetition and breath. So no need to force it. And eventually it feels right to start to extend both legs towards a straddle on your back. You can do that, either hold behind the knees or in the thighs to press your tailbone back down to the earth. Can be a sweet back release if you get that balance. And fold the feet back in, knees to shoulders. Take a breath into your low back. Exhale, press your tail down as you hug the thighs in. Move slow as you draw knees towards each other on your chest, because that will change the curve of your spine. And exhale, press the tail back down. And roll your way up to sitting. We'll do extended leg seated side bend. With the left leg extended, right knee open and half straddle. But with the information you already gleaned from the back of the legs, knees, if sitting with left leg straight doesn't work for you, fold the left knee in and maybe right heel to butt works. And you'll come into your side bend that way. Turn navel towards right knee. Left hand to the inside of left leg. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Turn your palm towards your extended foot. Flex the toes up to sky. Exhale, reaching out. Breathe both sides of the rib cage up and out towards left foot. Exhale, soften neck and jaw. Keep the toes of left foot spread. Press out through the ball of the foot. Moving into neck release. Lower the right hand down towards the ground, reaching out to the right, palm facing down, until you feel your head releasing to the left away from your right hand. And there's a line of tension that you can choose to run your breath through. Exhale, reach your pubic bone towards the earth and scoop your low belly up off your pubic bone. Chest opener, raise the right hand to shoulder height. Turn the palm open, same direction of chest. Hand might be a little higher or lower depending on what's happening in your shoulder. Inhale, reach the right arm out from the shoulder joint. And for some of us, that's chest opening enough. Some of you pressing the back of the right hand back to stretch chest and front of shoulder. And maybe the fascia right down the front of the arm off your fingertips. Gaze might turn down to left shoulder. Keep the neck released. And finally, bring right arm back in line with the shoulder. Turn your thumb down and wrap right arm behind back, either resting hand on sacrum or reaching for your left thigh. Inhale, both sides of the rib cage up out of your hips. Exhale, ease the head of the right shoulder back. Keep neck released wherever you choose to look. Nice, you guys. And right hand might slide against small of back as you release it to the floor. Release your face down and crawl your way back up to straight spine. Pull your belly in. Change legs. Right leg out. Activate the right foot, spread the toes, press on the gas, and keep energy right out the foot bones. Of course, you can bend your knee and still get the energy out there. Right hand to the inside of leg. Part one, inhale, left arm to sky. Palm faces foot. Exhale, lean to your right. Use your breath to expand the rib cage. Exhale, plug pubic bone down, draw navel to spine. Neck release, leave your head released towards the right shoulder. You can choose to look up or down if that's right for your neck. And somewhere when your left hand is 12 inches off the earth or thereabouts, you'll feel for a sweet traction through left side neck. Breathe into the tension. Exhale, sense it unwinding. Chest opener, raise the left hand to shoulder height, palm open, same direction as chest. Or thereabout, inhale. Exhale, maybe press the left hand back. If there's a lot of tingling in the hand or if there's any pain, keep the left arm in line with the shoulder so there's zero pain. And finally, half bind, left hand behind back against sacrum or reaching for right thigh. Inhale, spread your collarbones wide. Exhale, ease the left shoulder blade away from your ear. Keep your neck released as you lower hands to the ground and work your spine back up using hands, using abdominals. Good. And come on to your back for star spiral pulse. If you need to see a round of this, it's a little bit like thigh traction, except we won't use our hands. Roll will be between thighs. We'll keep head and shoulders off the earth the whole time. Exhale, twist to left thigh, right leg to the sky. And then we'll take a breath, flexing the right foot, rotating the thigh in towards the roll and getting breath into right hip. Exhale, spiral the thigh bone from the hip joint as smooth as you can. You don't want to jerk it up, partly because that'll cramp your hip flexor. And also, it's not the point. Hugging into the roll and feeling for making space in the joint by connecting to psoas. So it might not look like much of anything, but I want you to feel the left side or the low belly on the side activating. All right, lying on your back, roll between thighs, knees bent directly over pelvis, feet can dangle down towards your hips, but activate your toes, spread them wide. Inhale, curl your head and shoulders off the earth, press your low back flat. Exhale, elbows to the left thigh, right leg to the sky. Hold your roll. Flex your right foot, turn the right thigh in towards the roll, breathe into right hip, and maybe 3 to 5 little pulses as you breathe out, spiraling heel to ceiling, like you're unscrewing the thigh bone from the hip joint. Inhale, center, press your low back flat. Exhale, twist to the right, left leg to sky. Flex foot, rotate thigh in, squeeze roll, take a breath into left hip. Exhale, spiral, pull low belly down. Inhale, center, press low back flat, curl shoulders up. Exhale, twist left, right leg up. Breathe into the right hip while you flex the foot and rotate the thigh into the roll. Exhale, massage the roll with your thigh. Smooth pulses. Inhale, center, press top rim of sacrum down, squeeze roll, tuck tail. Exhale, twist to right, left leg straight. Breathe into left hip as you flex foot and rotate thigh in. Continue to rotate as you exhale, pulse heel to sky. Pull left side, low belly down. Do one more to each side like that, one more round to each side. You can change the breath rhythm, but feel for getting breath down into the hips. And when you are complete, you can take a moment in Supta Baddha Konasana, take the roll away, let the knees drop into a butterfly, get breath into inner thighs. If windshield wipes or any other shape is a more appropriate pose for you to release and get breath into hips, you find that shape for you. Moving into bridge on a block. So find your block. And have it next to you. If you always use your same hand to put the block underneath your hips, put it on your other side today. Lift and spread your toes. Press your feet down. Curl your tailbone up. Press hips straight up to the sky. Now keep the low belly in. Direct the breath higher, up into the rib cage, up into the chest. Exhale, ground your heels, your inner heels, and send your sacrum through your knees. Reach for your block. Put it underneath your pelvis, the highest height you're willing to work right now. It might be tricky to get in, so breathe, no thrashing. And come into a place where your heels can be flat on the ground. The block is under pelvis, not under low back at all. And even if you have the block high enough that most of your weight is on the block, press your feet down. Make sure your legs stay turned on, decompressing low back. Lengthen tail between the knees. Feel for almost a magnetic push between the thighs. Press into that magnetism. And keep breathing up into chest. 2 more breaths. If you'd like to roll shoulders together in this variation, that's fine. But then reconnect to legs on the earth. And take the block out as smoothly as it went in. Or maybe smoother. Breathe up into chest. Exhale, slowly roll your spine down. Draw right knee into chest. Extend left leg out on your yoga mat. Left toes flexing up to all 10 toes flexing up to the ceiling. Breathe down into low back and sacrum. Exhale, soften the right hip. Keep the sacrum grounded into the mat. You can hold on to right leg wherever is comfortable for you. Behind the knee if it needs space. Change sides. Extend right leg out, draw left knee in. Flex all 10 toes back. Then you can either choose to press on the gas or actively flex the ankles. See if you can work the right thigh bone down towards the mat. Breathe the low back ribs onto the mat. Exhale, relax your chin down. Jaw slack. And hug both knees into chest. Find your way to all fours. You're welcome to do some rock and rolls if you want to swirl around the energy you've created. And come down onto your elbows for dolphin prelude. You're okay being on your knees? Yeah. Wrap your hands around your upper arms. Then clasp your hands in front of you. Keep your elbows exactly where you set them up this whole time. Walk the knees back 2 inches out to the side 2 inches and rest your head down on yoga mat. Send a big breath into the upper back between your shoulder blades. Exhale, soften chest towards earth. Soften upper back between shoulder blades. Optional, lift hands off the earth without moving elbows. Knuckles point to ceiling. For some bodies, relaxing a lot in this shape feels effective. For a lot of us, continue to reach back through down dog tail, keeping the low abdominals hugging in. It's kinder to low back, kinder to neck. Three more breaths, feeling for space and releasing tension anywhere up in the chest shoulder region, including right around the armpits, the hollows of the armpits. Now, if your breath crawled into somewhere that's starting to unwind in this unique shape and you want to stay with it, please do. Next pose is dolphin prep and or dolphin. We're moving into that. Keep your neck released as you rock your weight forward so head floats off earth. Remeasure the elbow width. Either clasp hands or if shoulders are healthy, maybe work with palms up today, hands directly in front of the elbows. You can put a block between your wrists because the hands will try to come together as much as the elbows want to move away. Keep forearms parallel to each other. Press the earth away. Release your neck. Inhale your down dog tail up and back. Tuck your toes. And exhale, pull your low belly in to lift knees off mat. Neck relaxed or a little tuck of chin. If you're in the supinate, palms up, feel for turning your biceps forward as a way to rotate the hands up without straining wrists. Whichever variation you're in, rotate the triceps in towards your cheeks as you drive your elbows down. Embryo, knees down, sit back on your heels, hands by your feet. Though if this does not work for knees, sitting back on heels, maybe crawl out onto your belly instead. Or lie on your back, find a different let go shape. Quarter boat. Let's all crawl out onto belly. Fold the hands in front of you so you can rest forehead on hands. Send your breath into your low back ribs. Exhale, curl pubic bone into the mat. And start to spiral the right thigh back, rotating in towards the left, just like in star spiral pulse. Extending it from the hip joint. Keep the pelvis heavy on the mat, the left leg relaxed, the neck and jaw relaxed. If the right foot floated up, spread the toes. Maybe pretend there's a wall right next to your right foot and pretend to press into it and see how that feels. Exhale, relax the right leg completely. Inflate the back bottom ribs with your inhale. Exhale, curl the pubic bone down and spiral left thigh back from the hip socket. Feel for unwinding the thigh bone from the hip joint. Turning the inner thigh up towards the sky. Maybe contracting left sitting bone in towards tail or pretend to press into that imaginary wall by your left ankle. Nice. Exhale, relax the leg completely. Change the cross of your hands. Send breath into your back bottom ribs. Exhale, curl pubic bone down into mat. Spread all 10 toes wide. Press your feet down. Inhale, lift your chest up. Lift your elbows up, floating your head on your hands. So you're in a boat with your head still resting on hands and elbows off the earth. Please don't push against your head and neck. Keep the head released. Exhale, lower down. Bring the arms down alongside your body. If this is okay, look to your left, rest on your right cheek. Subtle movement, move mindfully as you bring the shoulders a little up towards your ears, roll them off the floor, and exhale, massage them down your back and back onto the earth. And look to your right shoulder, rest on left cheek, and do the same thing, real mindfully, sliding the shoulders towards head to get them off earth, and then slip them down your back. Hands under shoulders, chin or forehead on mat. Inhale to roll the head of the shoulder back, pull belly button off the earth. Exhale, press up to all fours or into plank and downward dog. Turbo dog, bend your elbows half an inch. Spread your fingers wide. And again, turn the biceps forward, the triceps in towards your cheeks. Relax your head and neck. Exhale, straighten your arms. Press your mat forward to send your chest towards thighs. Maybe exaggerate your flexibility into your shoulders. Holy moly, something's very different in your spine, Ruth. I don't know what you did, but that looks nice. Plank, take a breath. Exhale, shoulders over wrists. Feet can either walk together or set your knees down. I'm sorry, in plank, heels together. 3 breaths. Exhale, downward dog. Good. One more time, turbo dog. Bend the elbows half an inch, rotating biceps forward, triceps in. Breathe the back ribs out. Exhale, pull low ribs into your belly as you stretch your down dog tail back and push your mat forward. Breathe the back ribs out. Exhale, straighten your arms. If your shoulders are healthy, maybe exaggerate your flexibility. Head towards earth as you gaze at navel. Good, take a breath. Exhale, plank, shoulders over wrists. Once again, you can either set knees down or bring heels together if that feels stabilizing to your back. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot forward, warrior 2. Come into the pose any way that makes sense to you. It doesn't have to be a fancy transition, but keep your breath going. Bird's wing, warrior 2, facing side of mat. Invite left hip back with the left heel so shoulders can float right over your floating hips. Relax the arms. Then reach your arms forward, palms up, squeeze elbows into the rib cage. Inhale, pinky fingers in towards each other, broadening upper back to breath. Exhale, rotate the hands away from each other. Almost like you have a stretchy band there. Feel some resistance as you rotate the hands out and hug the elbows in. Good. 2 more pulses like that. Inhale, pinky fingers in, broaden back of ribs to your inhale. Exhale, rotate hands out, tenaciously hug the elbows in. Relax your jaw. Inhale, pinky fingers in, backs of lungs expand. Exhale, rotate out. Feel the upper arm bone trying to touch your shoulder blade. The muscles right behind your armpits, those tiny muscles start to fire. Good. Stay here for 1 breath. Exhale, keep hugging in. Maybe press the elbows forward a little bit, the hands back. And relax your arms. Archer prep or half archer, right arm up. Bend your right elbow, left hand to right elbow. Now, supporting your right elbow with your hand so the right shoulder can release. Like if you let go, your arm would just fall down. Inhale, send right elbow straight up to sky. Exhale, soften right shoulder blade down and turn triceps into cheek if that's okay for shoulder. Press both heels into the earth. Feel your glutes turn on. Lift and spread toes of right foot. No pressure in the knee at all. It's all for butt and thighs, but mostly glutes. Option to move into your full archer if you want to bring left arm behind back. If you're doing that, make sure you hold on to something. If the fingertips don't reach each other, either find your strap or hold on to your shirt so you can put some tension in your hands and move it out of the shoulders. Half bound triangle. Leave left arm behind your back. Straightish right leg. You can bring the feet a little closer together to protect knees. Right hand down to shin. Or if that's a lot of pressure on knee, put your right hand on a block. Yeah, gaze any direction, including releasing the neck. It's all correct. Half bound extended warrior. Bend your right knee, either prop right forearm on thigh as you roll the heart open, or slide right armpit down to thigh so you can reach under your right leg and catch your left hand or wrist. Runner's lunge. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Spin onto your back toes. Square the hips. You might have to lift the hips real high to rotate them and square them off to the side of the mat. Lift and spread toes of right foot. Ease the shoulders away from your ears. Breathe the back ribs long from your pelvis, lengthening back of spine. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Cobra or low cobra, hands on earth, either under shoulders or in front of shoulders. Spread fingers, pull on the mat to inhale your chest forward. Keep the pelvis grounded. Becky, see how it feels to separate your hands even a little bit wider, if that gives your shoulders room to ease back, as long as it doesn't create pain. And exhale, downward dog or rest. You can rest on your belly as you get breath into your spine. Or you can cat-cow. Find your way into warrior two, left foot forward. Shoulder shrugs. Invite right hip back. Shoulders directly over hips, arms relax. Turn to face side of mat. So nose is right over center of chest. Take a big breath into your upper back. Hold this first breath in. Hike shoulders up to ears. Draw the tops of the shoulders back towards each other and exhale, squeeze tops of shoulders in as you slide them down neck into upper back. Keep the shoulders, arms relaxed. Inhale, fill the space between your shoulder blades with breath. Exhale, draw the middle angles of the shoulders straight into that space, into each other, leaving your arms relaxed. So you can use your back muscles to bring shoulder blades into spine. Then relax that. Inflate upper back with breath. Inflate the whole back of the ribcage with breath. Exhale, bottom tips of your wings try to touch. Here the arms can help. Palms face forward, elbows bent, squeezing elbows towards each other behind you. Drawing bottom tips of shoulders and elbows towards your tail. Reach your tail down, scoop your belly up. Relax your jaw. Relax your arms. Half archer, left arm up. Bend your left elbow and support it with right hand. Soften both sides of neck and shoulders off the neck bones. Breathe left elbow straight up to sky. Exhale, turn your triceps in toward your cheek and soften the bottommost ribs back into your belly. Option to move into your full bind over the next couple breaths. Half bound triangle. Leave right hand behind your back as you straighten left leg. You may need to mindfully bring your feet a little closer together. So depending on what kind of triangle you want to practice today. Both of your shoulders really nicely aligned. Breathe the back ribs out. Exhale, scoop your low belly in. Reach left hip towards your right heel. Bend the left knee into half bound extended warrior, left forearm to thigh, or interlock left armpit to thigh so you can reach underneath and find hand or strap or pants. Runner's lunge, look down, hands frame the front foot, maybe lift your hips high as you pivot. End up with the left knee directly over the left heel for this variation of lunge. If your hips open up, then slide the right leg back instead of bending left knee any deeper. Exhale back to a tabletop. Option to put roll between thighs for camel prep. If that's tweaky to knees, then you'll skip it. If you prefer to stand up and get off your knees, you can do the same pose on your 2 feet parallel to each other. Hands on backs of hips. You can use your palms, your thumbs, or make fists. Keep your wrists straight. Guide your sacrum down to the roll. Hug the roll. Pretend to send roll to earth. Inhale, telescope the rib cage off your pelvis. Exhale, roll shoulders back, tweeze elbows back. Your choice whether you keep the chin tucked, your gaze past nose, or let the head roll back, gaze at third eye. Inhale, lift the back bottom ribs off your sacrum. Expand the middle ribs off the low ribs. Lift the heart. Exhale, shoulders soften back a little more. 2 more breaths. Now, if your spine went backwards, use your breath to breathe your heart forward. If your head is back, it follows. Come into a tabletop or sit on your heels. Either mindfully cat-cow or simply send breath into your spine. Continue to cat-cow or come into downward dog. Crescent lunge, right foot forward. Runner's lunge, staying on back toes. Then you might bend the back knee a lot to get your tail down and you get your shoulders right over your hips. From there, left leg might re-straighten as long as you don't feel compression in low back or too much compression. We are intentionally coming into a lordotic curve. You can do this pose with back knee on floor. Hands on hips. Work the heel of the hand towards back of hips if that's okay on your shoulders. Fingers wrapping around the sides. Guide your own sacrum straight down. And again, inhale, telescope the rib cage up, lifting low, then middle, then upper ribs. Exhale, roll shoulders back, tweeze elbows back. Same head choices. Keep the chin tucked or roll it back. And if you feel your upper spine going backwards, that's great, but use your breath to invite your heart forward. Pull your lowest ribs into your belly, hands to thigh. Left hand down to edge of mat. Take a pretty wide stance. Left hand a good 18 inches or more from right foot. Easy twisting warrior. Right hand to thigh, sky, or behind your back. And literally do find a variation of this twist that feels ease in your body, ease in your breath. Back knee down might have to happen. Wide angled forward fold, right hand down to left. Walk your hands to the left as you turn the right toes in. Be mindful of your knees in that transition. It doesn't have to be so fancy. or choreographed. End up standing facing side of mat with the toes either pointing straight ahead or slightly pigeon-toed. Forward fold, hands down between your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Prasarita Padottanasana A. Hands shoulder width apart, and then hug your elbows in to shoulder width, like you're holding a beach ball with elbows. Either release the neck or gaze towards navel, unless you're intentionally trying to keep head level with heart. Inhale, half lift. Bring your hands to your waist, point your elbows to the ceiling. You might need to bend your knees and tuck your tail to protect your back. Inhale to rise. Prasarita Padottanasana B. Inhale, spread your hands. Exhale, take hold of your waist. Give it a little squeeze. Inhale, shoulders, elbows back. Keep this posture as you return to forward fold, tucking chin in, squeezing elbows back. If you prefer to stay upright in the super person shape, you can stay upright and lengthen your spine that way. So keep hugging elbows, shoulders back as you tuck your chin in. Yes, they're moving in opposite directions. That is intentional. If you feel tension building in jaw, just back out enough that you can release the jaw. Good. If it feels safe to come up to standing from where you are, do that. Bend your knees as much as you need. Use your hands if you need to. And finally, Prasarita Padottanasana C. Inhale, open your hands. Exhale, interlace behind your back or find your strap so you can pull on it. This is another one you can stay upright for. Inhale, open the chest, maybe look up. And exhale, fold. If you chose to look up, now squish your chin down into your throat. Close your chin back, your throat back off. If you're practicing releasing the neck, you can choose that. And to release the bind, I recommend letting hands come to pelvis and then slide down your legs. Shoulders usually like that. Good. Up, spider. Inhale, half lift. Turn your toes out, bend your knees. Yeah, hips might drop as low as knees, no lower than that. Torso parallel to earth. Extend the crown of head forward, reach your tailbone back. Exhale, scoop the lowest ribs up into the belly. Breathe the back ribs out. Exhale, soften between shoulder blades. Upright pigeon. Lower right shin to the ground. Here you might want your roll or block to stay upright. They like roll in 2 blocks, roll under hips, 2 blocks under hands. Activate your feet, press down, breathe your low belly up, ease your shoulders back. So here my hips are much higher than they are in sleeping pigeon, so they truly are square and my tail can drop. As your hips drop, yes, you can move into intentional compression and low back if that feels right to you today. Keep breathing your proud pigeon chest out from your low back. All right, downward facing dog or whatever you choose for your neutralizing transition. Cat cow. Rest on your belly. I don't recommend child's pose yet. We'll have one more upright pigeon. We'll meet in crescent lunge, left foot forward. Hands on hips. Maybe hands behind hips so you can roll shoulders back. Send your sacrum straight down to earth. Breathe your rib cage up off your grounded hips. And exhale, ease shoulders back. Draw elbows in towards each other. Keep breathing the sternum straight up to sky. If you want to release head back, that's fine. If your head is back, it's the last piece to come up. Inhale, breathe your heart forward. Slide your hands onto your thigh to transition into your easy twisting warrior. Right hand off to edge of mat or maybe even off the mat. Turn to the left. Keep breathing your chest, your rib cage out of your hips. Press down into the ground with your feet so there's less weight in the right hand. Your legs hold you up. Wide angled fold, left hand down to right. If the transition's all right for you, walk your hands to the right, turn your left toes in, and fold between your two legs. Flank stretch, right hand to left ankle, left hand on right hand, head resting in the hammock of your right arm. Unless you prefer to put left hand on the ground outside your foot, like you're pushing the ground away so your right ribs start to expand to the right leg. Some flanks like that active stretch. Mindfully walk your hands over to the other ankle. Right hand, left ankle. I'm sorry, left hand, right ankle. Release, center, spider. Inhale to a flat back. Turn your toes out, your heels in. Exhale, bend your knees wide. Reach your tail back, breathe your chest forward. Upright pigeon towards left foot, lower left shin down. Breathe if you're looking for props to place under hips, under hands. Alternatively, even with propping, you feel still a lot of compression that doesn't feel safe in your low back. You can bring your hands or blocks forward and like you're doing low cobra, pull on the blocks to extend the spine. Breathe the back ribs off the sacrum. Exhale, pull your low belly in. Ease the shoulders back. Breathe the collarbones wide with a relaxed jaw. And exhale, find your way into your neutral shape. You can rest on your belly. That's it for standing series. You can do another vinyasa, or you can move into child's pose. Child's pose, maybe with your roll between or on your ankles, on your calves. So there's no pressure in the knees. And find your way to a sitting position. Actually, let's come onto the back. Come onto your back. We'll do figure four. I was going to do seated square pose if that sounds yummy to you right now. It's the same pose as figure four. You're just sitting. Figure four, either ankle, crosses opposite knee. Do you recommend pulling the toes back and flaring them wide as a way to stabilize knee, but honor what you're actually feeling in your own knee? An option to extend the standing leg. Maybe reaching hands for calf or even big toe. Or if you can reach with your strap for your strap while you breathe, you can put strap on foot. And if you're extending the standing leg as you reach that heel up to the sky, Inhale into the low back on the earth. Untuck your sitting bone down to the ground. Press it down. Change sides. Option to extend the standing leg. And feel for its sit bone trying to flatten onto the earth as the heel reaches in opposite direction. One more time. Let's hook right ankle over left. So either return to that or stay. Twist part one, drop your knees over to the left. So your right foot is standing on the floor. Right knee pointing up to ceiling. You can use the left knee to nudge your right foot closer to your left shoulder if you want to move deeper into that hip if you're not feeling it. Option, left hand can massage your right thigh away from you. Right arm might extend to the right and you look towards it. And then maybe keep your legs in this configuration as you roll back onto your back. You may have to come out of the configuration just to get onto your back. And then return to figure four, right over left, right ankle. And drop hips to the right. So you end up in a knee down twist with your right ankle hooked on left knee. That doesn't work for all bodies, so you can unhook it. Option to extend left arm up by your ear, catch left wrist with your right hand, and relax your left shoulder down. And again, you might have to roll right out of the pose, turn into a fetal curve before you roll onto your back. And change sides. Find your way into figure four, left ankle, right thigh. Part one, dropping knees over to the right side. So your left foot's on the floor, your left knee's pointing up. Maybe you guide that thigh away from you with right hand. If you need to come into fetal curve to come to the other side, then bring your left arm across, unhook your foot, come onto your back, then hook left ankle again, and drop your knees to the left. Maybe catch right wrist as the right arm extends overhead, so the right shoulder can release. And find your way towards relaxation. Your body wants a happy baby or an upside down forward fold. Or the support of your props so you can truly relax. And as always, if you would like to take your Shavasana longer than just a couple of minutes, like a healthy 5 to 7 minutes, then turn off your Zoom and rest. Take a deep breath. Move slow as you place your feet on the floor one at a time. If it feels right to bend your knees to your chest one at a time, you can do that, or rest here and sink the low back into mat. And ease over to your side to press yourself up to sitting with a relaxed neck. Palms together, thumbs against sternum, lift your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Namaste.